Hi, my name is Jen White, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a pop-up foldable to use when describing characters in novels. So, the first thing you're going to need is materials. You're going to need some white paper, just 8.5 by 11 is fine, and then you're going to want to have crayons or colored pencils or whatever you like to draw with, some Scotch tape, a pair of scissors, and I like to use a pencil, but if you're feeling adventurous, you could use a pen. So today I'm going to choose the character Johnny from The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I'm going to move you here. I'm going to start by drawing out, well, first of all, we'll make our base. So what you do is you take your piece of paper and you fold it hamburger style. Okay, so it looks like this. And this is actually going to be where your pop-ups go in the middle here. So it'll stand up like this. So what I'm going to do is I've already decided that I would like to include the church and then also Johnny, and then I'll write information. So what I'm going to do is cut a flap. Okay, so you can see the flap. It's like this. Okay, so it's just a flap. And I'm not going very far because I want it to be in the background. So sorry for the light here. Let me see if I can adjust this. So when you do this, the pop-up is going to show up in the middle here, and you're going to bend it out so that it's like that. Okay, and then that's where I'm going to put the church. Okay, so I'm going to put that back in, and I'm going to cut another flap, and that one's going to be for Johnny. And I want this one to be a little farther forward. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I want him to be in the foreground. So he's going to be a little taller. And then you can see with the other flap that'll be in the background. Okay, so it should look like that. Alright. And actually what I'm going to do to support the church a little bit better, I'm going to put another flap right next to it. That way when I tape the house on, it'll stand up a little bit better. Okay, so now we're ready to get started, and here comes the artistry part. If you're not an artist, I'm not saying that I am, but if you don't trust your skills or you're not okay with your kids making fun of your drawing skills, then you could always print off a picture from the internet and use that. So I'm going to draw, let's see, I'm going to use this and see how tall I want Johnny to be. So I'm probably going to go to there, and now I'm going to start drawing Johnny. Now, the nice thing about this is that the characters, you know, the person doing this pop-up, the student doing it, really gets to show you what the character looks like. Sorry, you can hear my dog barking in the background. So I'm just going to get the general feel for what Johnny looks like. Johnny was really young. And the kids always define the greasers by wearing leather jackets, but Johnny didn't wear a leather jacket, so we're just going to have him wearing a white t-shirt. We've got Johnny's hands, and we'll see what he turns out as. Okay, so here's what my Johnny looks like so far. I'll put that a little closer. Alright, so now I'm going to color him in. Okay, so my character Johnny is now done. So I'm going to cut him out. So this is Johnny, and he's going to be going in the pop-up in just a little bit. All right, so the next step is to do the church. And the church is going to be in the background. The church doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to get out a ruler anyway, just because. So I got my ruler. Okay, so here's my basic drawing of the church, and then I'm going to have the church actually with some flames coming off of it. And this is to kind of show an important event in the story because Johnny died. Spoiler alert, Johnny dies because he's helping the kids get out of the church. So. Okay, so I'm going to clean up here just a little bit. Put my crayons away. And now we're going to assemble the pop-up. So I've got my church and I've got my Johnny. So to fix them, you can either use a glue stick if you want to, except mine's all dried out, so I'm not using mine today. Or I like to use tape, mostly because I'm a huge fan of tape. So what I'm going to do is just fold it to make the loop, and I'm going to tape here on the bottom section. So I'm going to be careful not to tape anything on the top section because nothing's going to go there. And then I just stick Johnny onto that section, and he stands up. Okay, so we see Johnny on there. And then to do the church, I'm going to do 2 smaller pieces and loop those. And then I'm going to stick on the church. Now this is a really fun activity for kids because it's always kind of fun to see a pop-up that you've made yourself. So it's kind of a neat accomplishment. Sorry, my phone is ringing. So it's kind of a neat accomplishment to have made it. And then you would decorate it. You could put, I would write The Outsiders. Along the top, and then you always put the author. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. And then I would also want to make sure that everybody knows who the character is that I'm writing about. So I'm going to make it quite clear. I'm going to say Johnny. And the church, and hold on one second. Okay, so we're labeling it as the church, and I'm going to write actually why it's so important. Let's see, we will use, what color? Red seems good. Important because he died of burns after saving the kids. Okay, down here for Johnny, I'm going to say that he was kind of quiet and reserved. He had a bad home life. He was loyal. and he was kind. And then one more thing that you could add is a background. So for a background for this, I would guide my students and we'd talk about it, but they'd probably all agree that a sunset would be the best possible background, because they refer to the sunset a lot in The Outsiders and how important it is, how everybody sees the same sunset. So I figured that would be a good background to put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a sun. Now you have to remember with your pop-up, you're not going to see this lower part here. So you're not going to see the lower part, so you don't need to draw on that. So wherever it's cut, don't draw. And I apologize again for the glare. And I'm going to draw pretty much the worst sunset ever here. And we'll throw some purple in there too. Okay, so now I have a great character pop-up. To make sure everything stays, I'm just going to fold it in half and kind of push down. That way when I pop it back up, everything's kind of sturdy and secure. Okay, and then the best way to have these presented would be to maybe put them on a table against a wall and kind of maybe tape them or secure them to the back of the wall. That way they stay up and everybody can check them out. This would be a great activity to have out when you are having like parents come out, or if you're having a language arts night that you want people to see what students have done. This is a really neat creative way to show them. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, and thanks for watching.